So, hi, I got woken up just before dawn this morning with these messages about the energies for August. I hope you can hear me because the wind's picking up, but it's such a beautiful orchard that I'm sitting in. I just wanted to share this with you. This is Bob's Field outside of Glastonbury, where I've been at the Glastonbury Symposium this week, which was a wonderful event. So, these are the messages. First of all, we will have more courage to face the past, that which has haunted us, held us back, so that we can be more present and move forwards. Especially those who are challenged with addiction, because all of the light energies that are now coming in, we've got more plasma beings than ever before to help us to become that fourth state of matter, awaken more plasma in our light body. Plasma is what the sun and the stars and we are made out of, but it's the refinement of our light. So, those that are struggling with addiction, what's happening is, the amount of electromagnetic pollution is frying our nervous systems. So those that aren't coping, addiction is more likely to sort of go out of control at the moment. And that's also aided and abetted by the work that's being done at the facility called CERN. Such an irony, given Cernanos is the name of the green man who, is a custodian of Eden. But in Switzerland, what they're doing at the facility is letting through other dimensional beings without the protocols that mystics would use to ensure safe procedures, such as strong energetic boundaries, invocations and intention setting. They're just doing it from a place of curiosity, which is very dangerous psychically. So those who are under the influence are psychically open but not grounded and not centered. So this leaves people open to being compromised by lower astral entities. So this is a time when there's more support than ever before to, do that battle with your inner nemesis during this transit of Sirius known as the Lion's Gate, which will reach its zenith on the 8th day of the 8th month. August, because it is about that 8 energy, it's about power and abundance when it comes to 8 numerologically. So the more that we connect to the infinite, the less that we look for power in subversive ways. This transit is opening up the 4D consciousness like never before. So the one heart, the flowering of the heart consciousness, when we see ourselves as part of the all, part of the collective, rather than just in service to self. This is, the heart is where the inner parents reside. So this is a window to stop rebelling against the conditions that your soul chose to incarnate into, which is what often fuels addiction, that, fuck it, anger at the divine, anger at life, anger at your parents, which is a set of choices that spirals us down into the worst version of ourselves, from the heart going down into the solar plexus, into polarity and conflict and duality, and then down into the sacral, into emotional drama, which we have to be careful of when the sun moves through Leo, and then into survival fears in the base. So if we take responsibility as the inner parents in the heart, we spiral up into the throat. And this is where healing is possible, so that we can then continue to spiral up and experience, lighter states of being, more connectivity, bliss states, ecstasy, naturally. So the irony, those that are seeking it out artificially end up feeling more hell on earth than heaven on earth. Those who have good self-care practices are now activating the higher heart, which is turquoise, so seated between the green of the heart chakra and the blue of the throat chakra. And this is a great window to be balancing feminine, masculine energies. So you can call in the energy of swan. You know, if we see the caduceus, the serpents bowing at the third eye humbly, with the wings outstretched, it looks like a swan. And this is why Sarasvati, the goddess who represents the path of white tantra, one who embodies the inner marriage, is often portrayed as a swan. So was the high priestess of Avalon. You know, she would often be shown in a gondola that was carved in the shape of a swan. So this is an opportunity now for us to move into the higher heart, to be the jewel in the lotus, the combination of loving wisdom, born of compassion for self, and then we can extend that to others. So this is what activates empathy. So when we're empathetic, you know, we can feel others without them needing to communicate. So we're always humbly aware of other, rather than just imposing our needs and wants. So this is this current transit of Sirius, which is much brighter than our sun, and it's the closest to Earth for this year. It's ushering in a galactic wave of benevolence, of new heart-centered community projects. So this is a time when you'll be, you know, all of us move to act on behalf of the greater good, and do it joyfully. Do it with those that are in co-resonance with you, those that are on the same page frequency, you know, wise. Those who have felt like outcasts, great news. This is when you're finally going to feel like you're welcome, that you're seen, heard, acknowledged, understood, that it's your time. If you felt that, you know, nobody understood you, or that you were ahead of your time, now there's a sense that it's time, because we're all moving into this one heart. And there's also a new shift of power that's occurring. So those that are truly in service to, you know, the one heart, to the global family, there's a sense of them being recognized by the tribe, new opportunities opening up. You know, we're seeing new sacred leaders emerging, grassroots from the ground up, at earth gatherings. So this is a time when we're being called back to the land. I've been seeing lots of visions about, you know, this is when we're going to see a widening of two possible societies, those that want to live simply with the land, and those that want to live, you know, in the artificial intelligence of the system. So we have the combination now of the Cancer North Node taking us more into authentic connection and community, coupled with the Leo Sun awakening the one heart. And what that's doing is it's creating fission. Okay, so fission is when we generate power through coming together. This is the energy of trans Pluto. So Pluto blows things apart, whereas trans Pluto brings everybody together into a cohesive whole. So we're seeing now all of the shards of the soul, fragments of ourselves coming together in a harmonic, which is creating the right conditions to heal the world soul, because that's really what's needing to be done to heal life on earth. So this is wonderful news. It's a time of feeling more optimistic, clearer after the mental confusion of the past month. And finally, I'd like to just acknowledge we've received a couple of interesting crop circles. Whether they are in fact created by our stellar brethren or man-made is actually not the issue that I'd prefer to focus on, because ultimately it's all the divine plan unfolding. What we've seen most recently, 2 weeks ago, a spider crop circle right near CERN, the original CERN. So the wild man, the stag, lord of the forest of nature, who is a figure that we see in the English countryside, and this crop circle is close to him. He's shown he's got an erect phallus and he's holding a rod of power. So he represents the empowered masculine who is fertile, who is able to take action, who has his own sovereign power. And right next to him right now is a spider. Now, a spider is a symbol of feminine power. A spider represents the figure 8, so going into the 8th month, the symbol of infinity. And like the kiss of the spider woman, which I speak about in my latest book, The Grail, she represents initiation into the mysteries of the sacred feminine. Now, literally this week, so within 2 weeks, we see another crop circle next to the only other image of a man on the landscape. And this is the Long Man of Wilmington, who is shown holding 2 rods, or rather between 2 rods, which could signify a doorway, a portal, or a man who has raised the 2 serpents like Asclepius to heal himself and therefore the land, since man and the land are one. And this crop circle looks like the hang 10 symbol. It's 2 feet and they're in front of him. So it's as if he's stepping forwards. He's standing on his own 2 feet. He's standing up for what is right. He's standing in his power. So this having 2 crop circles right next to these ancient gods, these archetypal figures of the man who is one with the land, is very significant, and it's shining a light on the masculine. It's like a tip of the hat to the fact that the men are doing the work and they are reconnecting with Cernunnos. And I'm very excited to add that I've been offered a venue to reinstate the Holy Grail rite of passage for men. So if we get enough men, it will go ahead this solstice for the first time in thousands of years. So if you're interested to know more, you can go to the Grail, GRAL.com, and register your interest for that retreat. So thanks so much for watching. Have a wonderful August, and this is a time of expanding your heart light. So be open to love, whether that's giving and receiving love or expressing your light in service, and celebrating the light of others. That's what this month's about. Thanks so much for tuning in. You have my blessing to share.